Ladies and gentlemen, I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords, for this is a Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
Polish, polish, polish.
Cue the music.
Cute.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I'm a Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm a man that's all by himself, Michael.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it through the mediums of song. All by myself.
Yes. As you can see, if you are watching us, Fulya and I are in the same place. Oh my god! Look at that.
We're here in the same room.
Yes, we haven't done this for a while.
No, we haven't.
It's been a hot minute,
Mhm.
so it's nice to podcast with a real person.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
There's like a different
Yes.
dynamic when you're in the same room,
Yes.
right?
Are
Yeah.
you saying I'm not real?
You're a simulation.
You're Al.
You're Al. Oh, don't say that. That Al. We don't like Al,
Mm.
but we'll talk
I'm a
about
nice
Al
guy.
later.
I'm a
Let's-
nice
let's
guy.
pin
You
it.
should like me.
We'll put a pin in that one.
Mhm.
Yes. But yeah, so that's cool. So that's nice. But yes, let's just get into the show, shall we? With the weekly watchings.
Yay! Alrighty. I've been watching more anime lately, so I finished off an anime series called Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki, season 2. So I finished season 2,
Mm-hmm.
and that was good fun. It's a little high school comedy sort of a show.
Right.
It's good fun. And then I started off, once I finished that, I started off a new show that's been in my watch list on Crunchyroll. And that is called Dragon Goes House Hunting. And I've watched the first 2 episodes, and it is adorable.
Mhm.
It is funny. It is what it says in the title. It is a dragon that goes looking for a home.
Amazing. This is great.
Comes across an elf who is also a demon lord, but also a realtor, and helps an architect, and helps to find all these different monsters and dragons a place to call their homes in the fantasy lands.
Nice.
Yes, because they're all anti-hero. They don't want to be killed, and they just want to live in peace. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yes,
Just like us.
exactly. This particular dragon ends up being disowned by his parents
Oh no.
because he's such a timid dragon. He's so sensitive and but he's so cute. But he gets scared about everything. He's a big chicken, essentially.
Big chicken. Oh no.
But it's a good fun little anime that I am really looking forward to watching all the way through. So far, he's come across a few different houses and or places or buildings and structures, and not all of them are suitable for this particular dragon, unfortunately.
No. That's part of the journey, isn't it?
Exactly.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have a show.
Well, they found this like castle like mansion thing, and it had a lot of booby traps for heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up like activating all of them. Ended up at like the the last bottom basement level. There's like 3 levels of basement, and he ended up finding the bottomest one.
Oh.
If that's even a word.
It is now.
It is now.
You heard it here
Bottomest.
first.
Yeah, bottomest.
Bottomist.
And it's hilarious seeing this dragon just being scared of everything. and then we came across another. It's almost like it was a haunted mansion, kind of a house, which the elf said that it was a bit of a fixer-upper.
Oh,
of course.
yes.
And mentioned that it was haunted to the dragon because he said it's his obligation to let the, potential buyers know what is potentially wrong with places like that.
Mhm.
And he said it's haunted. And yeah, it was. Ghouls and ghosts.
Ghouls.
Scared the crap out of this dragon, mighty fine. But it was their way of welcoming him. Because they ended up being ghouls and ghosts.
Oh.
Yeah, they're really sweet. But the dragon obviously just, politely declined. He's like, this is a very nice place, but it's not for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But the last thing I will mention is that I am continuing my watch through of The Last of Us Season 1 on Max. Okay. I feel like I am at the latter half of the season now.
Okay.
In terms of where I am. What episode am I up to? I am up to episode 6. So
Okay.
I've watched 5 episodes. And oh boy, was episode 5 a hard watch.
Sam and Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I will mention is that, like, it was harder to watch it this time around than what it was watching it through the playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah. I will also say that it was an interesting, interesting take on those two characters in the show
Mhm.
because they made Sam deaf
Yeah, that's right.
instead of
Just
the ability to hear.
a little kid, yeah.
Yeah. And that, I think that's what made it a lot harder. Yeah. I think that's what hit me harder. Because of the connection that these two brothers had, especially considering, his ability of not being able to hear. So, yeah, that definitely hit me hard. And then the thing that happens thereafter. Yeah, it was tough.
So hard to watch.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm 4 episodes away from finishing season 1 now.
Yeah, you have 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're getting considerably shorter and shorter in duration, which is nice.
Yeah, some long ones in there.
Yeah, a couple of long ones in there. But yeah, no, Last of Us. And that's starting up. I think it's like tomorrow or the day after for us, at least.
Tomorrow for us.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to, get to finishing off season 1 so that we can talk so I can get into season 2. Oh boy. Yeah. No, that's pretty much what I've been watching.
Amazing. That makes me very happy. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mike, what have you been watching?
It makes you happy. It makes me nervous because I've been watching playthroughs. I've been watching the playthroughs of Last of Us. I watched the first one, which is a good refresher of what's going on and seeing all the differences and actually liking some of the changes that they did in season 1. Just to hit, as you said, Fulya, hit more close to home to something.
Yeah, definitely.
And having said that, I'm also in the middle of Last of Us season 2, just giving myself a refresher. And oh boy, I'm sorry, Fulya.
Part 2 of the game.
Part 2 of the game, and I'm sorry, Fulya.
Yeah, I'm going in blind with season 2, so that's going to be interesting.
I'm going in almost blind.
Oh, okay.
I know one big thing that happens.
Right.
Mike knows that what that thing is.
Yes.
Obviously.
Okay.
He knows that I know, so it's.
I know that you know, and you know that I know.
I think I know what you might be referring to.
Oh, okay. Don't say anything.
But I don't know where it sits in context. So
okay. The first,
we'll find out.
Give or take, first 3 hours of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of an 8-hour playthrough. give or take. No, I probably got it in 10. Because
Yeah, I think 10 hours is
I like looking for stuff.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a refresher, and as again, sorry Fulya, it's going to be if seeing what they did with season 1, it's probably going to be. I hope they're going to delve more into like different aspects of this. So that's coming out on Monday, and I can't wait. Also, dreading season 2 as well. So in a good way, weird. But also this week, us and the kids went to, well, we didn't go to the cinemas, but we managed to see a Minecraft movie.
Oh,
That is what it is. I'll just leave it there. Not as good.
Oh,
I've heard many thoughts. From
yeah.
It's
others.
terrible.
The only good thing I've heard about it is that Jack Black is like fantastic in it, which is not entirely surprising.
Mhm.
But everything else tells me that if you don't know anything about the game, it's not really worth watching.
No.
Is
Yeah.
that a fair statement?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I also heard that they try to throw every reference they can from the game into your face.
And it's terrorizing cinemas around the world, and I'm as a cinephile who loves going to cinemas, I'm not happy
No.
about this. What the fuck is it called? Chicken jockey bullshit.
Chicken
whatever.
jockey.
Oh
Flint
my
and
God.
steel. And
Anyway.
other stuff.
But Mike, it wasn't good. You didn't enjoy it. You're
It
a
was
huge
terrible.
Minecraft fan. Yeah.
Well, I like to play it because I may have the bit of the tism, so I
Don't
just
we
like
all?
digging holes. Yeah, it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just blech. It's just blech.
Yeah.
But
fair
unfortunately,
enough.
it's a big box office, so we're going to get more of them.
Yeah, it's
Yay.
making a ton of money.
My question to you is, did your kids enjoy it?
Well, we watched it at home, so they were just tuning in and out. So was I. So I was
Okay.
like, yeah, let's just get it
Fair
over and
enough.
done with. But next week we're going to watch Dogman. So there you go.
Nice.
I would actually spend money to watch that because money's a bit tight now. So
Yeah.
and as money is a bit tight, no, I'll leave that to last. Because we got Max, me and the wife got to see a documentary called Super/Man.
Oh.
I watched it. I cried.
Oh, dude.
I wasn't sure how they're going to do this of having it in the having his accent in the later half is like, but I like the fact that they actually like pulled the band-aid off and said, well, this is what it is, so they can go to and from, and I appreciate they focus more on the life of Christopher Reeves and so this is what he did as Superman. He's mainly Superman. It's like, but it dwelled more of his family and also the later half of after he passed as well, which is appreciative. But that something I don't like seeing kids sad. Don't like it at all. Yeah, tearjerker and good one for it. So I would recommend it if you want a bit of history of the man, because I knew very little of his life and a lot more references to Robin Williams as well, which is appreciative as well, considering they studied together and became and were and still are friends, which is great. So that was good. Having said that, we needed a pick me up, so I convinced my wife into watching the first 2 episodes of Peacemaker.
Okay. How'd she find it?
She likes it.
Okay.
She likes that sort of gross out humor. So yeah, she's a keeper.
Okay.
So that's a bit fun. So we've been watching that, which was really great because she said, "Well, I've been watching like the Batmans because it started with watching Batman Forever, and then she worked her way back and watched all the Tim Burton and Schumacher Batmans, and she's on to Christopher Nolan's. So, and then it's going to be the Matt Reeves. And I said, no, you got to if you're going to watch them, you got to make sure you watch Batman v Superman and also Justice League, both versions. Start with Joss Whedon, and then the 4-hour cut. Yeah. I don't think I can convince her to watch that.
I mean, which is annoying because I think it's better than the theatrical cut. It doesn't need to be.
I don't like him at all. Anyway, but that's just me. Bloated bullshit. Anyway, speaking of bloated stuff, well, I like this movie. But it came out on digital, so me and the wife watched Novocaine, the Novocaine No Pain with Jack Quaid, because she only knows him from Scream 5, and I know him from The Boys and Lower Decks and that Superman show. He plays Superman, voice only. So we watched that. That's pretty fun and pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a happy watch and a good watch for that. It's somewhat of a comedy. I'm not sure about the discourse if it's doing well or anything, but it was actually a good little film. A lot of it's about a guy who can't feel pain. He has the disorder of his nerves don't work, so and they lean heavily of that being like a superpower, and he falls into a scenario that he needs to get out of his comfort zone and actually help. And I didn't really know much about the story, and I'm happy that I didn't because it was a nice surprise, even though the sort of surprise was easily discernible. So, but that's not what you're watching. We're watching a guy get hurt without getting hurt. So it was strange and interesting. And I'm not that squeamish, but this movie did make me squeam because it's like, no, don't do that with arms and ankles. No.
That's not supposed to bend that way.
No. And the third act is, well, if you like that sort of squeamish sort of stuff, is like, well, it's a good payoff at the end. I do agree. So I highly recommend it to Kendall and not Fulya. Even though it's got Jack Quaid and he's fun.
Yeah. He's great.
But mind you, and this is a good segue because out of the blue, there's two things that I watched this week. Actually has a hand going into a deep fryer.
I'm sorry, what?
I know what one of those things is.
If I had a nickel, I would have two nickels, which is not a lot, but it's strange that it happened twice.
Yeah, what's the other thing?
So Jack Quaid got his hand in a deep fryer for didn't feel it. And
joy.
And the whole movie, it's like his hands like deep fried and skin's peeling off. So that's yeah,
Ouch.
it's that sort of film.
Yeah,
It's
no,
fun.
Definitely not for me.
What do you mean? Come on.
No.
You can do The Last of Us. You can do anything now, Fulya.
No, that's not how that
holds
works.
barred.
And it's not like he can
that's not
feel
how
the
that
pain.
works.
The
It's not
gloves
like he
are
can
off.
feel the pain.
No, he can't feel the pain, so it's just funny.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that was deep fried was Daredevil, the penultimate episode of Daredevil, and oh boy, that was a ass clinching episode. Everything is wrapping up, and
Yeah, the tension.
And I want next week's episode now. to see where everything is going.
Yeah.
Essentially, you can probably watch this season of just having the first episode and these last two. They are definitely good bookends of
For sure.
of what's
Yeah,
going on in this season. So that probably hints to the fact that these are the episodes that they added on. And because I was going to say Deadshot, but it's not Deadshot. Bullseye is back. And oh my God, I've never seen a person kill someone with their own tooth. Amazing.
Ew.
It happened.
That's
Wow.
gross.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It wasn't pretty.
I was going, oh, sadistic.
It's making
asshole
you
much.
squeamish.
Oh, well, after Novocaine, it's like my defenses are down. So yeah, that's been what I've been watching. What about you, Kendall?
Yes, me. Hello. Yes, Daredevil as well for me. Yeah. I really like Poindexter a lot. Bullseye. I think he was the best thing from season 3. So, and the best thing that's come out of these restructure of this show, I think, because I like the fact that there's connective tissue between the Netflix and this new Disney Plus series, apart from the obvious with Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk and all of that. But yeah, it was a really good episode. You're right. It's like everything is falling into place. We're nearing the end, and all the storylines are starting to reach their pinnacle and start to wrap up and whatnot. And it was a good episode. But yeah, the tension was high the whole time, and kept wondering where it was gonna end up. And then that very very much pun intended, that last shot. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah.
Yeesh.
I can't believe he did that. That's very interesting. And I'm really keen to see what the ramifications and the fallout of that is in the finale. So yeah, that's been really good. So I really liked it. What else? Oh yeah, I was gonna say I just like the twist with Vanessa in there was cool. I like that a lot.
I found it very cool that I figured it out when Matt figured it out. It's like, ooh, we're in sync.
Nice. I was just going along for the ride. I'm just like,
oh my God, Vanessa. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
So yes, Daredevil, amazing. Also this week, I watched more Last of Us.
Okay.
So I only have one episode, the last episode of season 1. The boyfriend and I did a 3-episode watch last night, so we did 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, yeah.
And he wanted a break. I'm like,
yeah, that's fair.
Understandable.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I
yeah.
have to do a palate cleanser after I watch an episode.
Yeah.
So.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
No.
Peacemaker, please.
No.
I mean, you try again, Fulya. Just keep trying. So rewatching it, I'm really glad I'm doing it, and he seems to be enjoying it a lot, which is cool. So we have put aside tomorrow night to watch the end of season 1 and
jump into season 2.
2.
Nice.
So,
But do you need
question.
a break after? In between the seasons.
5 hours. No.
Has he played the games?
No.
Okay, so he's really going in blind.
Yeah.
Okay,
He knows
interesting.
nothing.
Okay. Cool.
And so I'm glad we're getting closer to the point where I also don't know anything.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not going to spoil it, but the
Yeah.
temptation is great. It was funny though, because there's a certain actor that makes a certain cameo in episode 8 that you will see. I won't say because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But he knew who he was and knew the reason for his cameo, and I was like, cool. I didn't have to
I
explain
think
that.
I know who you're referring
You know who I'm
to.
referring to? Yes. Anyway,
also a fun
yes.
cameo in episode 9 as well.
Yes, there is another good cameo there
Okay.
too. Yeah,
Cool.
So it's cool. Yeah, so that's great, and yeah, I can't say anything because Fulya hasn't seen it yet, so that's all right. That's all
Actually,
right.
sorry.
Yeah.
Technically, there's 2 cool cameos in episode 8, in episode 9. And I won't mention it because it is a spoiler for season 2.
Interesting.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, so Last of Us, great. Looking forward to season 2 starting and finally tearing open that band-aid. What else can I speak to? Speaking of brutal things, the last season of The Handmaid's Tale started this week. So they dropped 3 episodes in one night, which was funny because I literally just put aside time. Well, I had time to watch all 3, but I put aside time to watch 1 episode and then go do something else, and then it just kept playing. I was like, oh, there's more. Oh, there's 3. Okay, sweet. Which I'm glad there was because not a lot happens in the first episode. It's a very minimal location episode, very slow paced, but then the ending of it is like bang.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, it's a great show. It's awesome, and it's really cool to see where the characters are now in terms of where they were at the beginning, being imprisoned in their own country, and now they're fighting to take it back finally. But every time they move, 1 step forward, they're 2 steps back, and there's just so much political stuff going on, and a lot of violence, and yeah, it's really good. It's a really good show. Yeah, if you can stomach the brutality against women, I recommend watching it.
Okay.
But it is very well done, really well made, and Elizabeth Moss, who is the lead, she actually directed a couple of the first 2 episodes, and they were shot very well. So it was really cool. So Handmaid's Tale, excellent stuff. And then I think the last thing I'll mention is that I finally got around to going to see a comedy show at the festival.
Nice.
Melbourne International Comedy Festival has been on for the past couple of weeks. It's finishing this weekend. 1 more week to go. But yeah, finally got to see something. And Mike, you might be aware of this. Have you heard of the show that Zach from Auntie Donna is doing at the festival?
Yes.
His own show. So it's called Refused Classification.
Yeah.
And it's Zach and Alexei Toliopoulos. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Yep.
Yes, and they are basically, it's like a comedy at the movies. Yeah, it's a comedy doco show where they are telling the story of the first. I don't know if it's the first film refused classification at the Sydney Film Festival, but it's up there, or first banned film in Australia or something. But there's this film that came out like 20 years ago. It's called Ken Park. I'd never heard of it until I watched this show, but it was done by the same guy who directed the 90s movie Kids. And if you know that movie, you know why this movie got banned. Just features teenagers played by adults over 18 doing sexually explicit things.
Ooh.
But it's an art house movie. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically, Zach and Alexei are portraying David Stratton and Margaret Pomeranz from the movie show, because I think it was the movie show when this was going on. It wasn't at the movies yet, and it kind of tells the story of how Margaret fought for this movie to be released. It goes into how David Stratton's backstory of when he first came to Australia, and he ended up becoming director of the Sydney Film Festival because he wanted to, advocate for films and preserve them and present them and all of that. So he's so passionate. And then, 20, 30 years later, Margaret steps in and then she's doing the same thing. It was all it's all crazy. There's footage of everything that went down. Like, they tried to do this illegal screening of the film because the classification board, refused to classify it, and therefore, if you screen the film, anywhere. You can get fined or jailed for doing
wow.
so.
Okay.
It was a whole thing.
Yep.
But anyway, so that's kind of the premise of the show, and they break the fourth wall constantly because they're like telling us, they're speaking us as if it's the two of them, but then they go into characters with really bad wigs and bad costumes, and then and portray certain people, and I think it's the best comedy show I've ever watched. Because it just appealed obviously to me and how much I love movies and how passionate I am about that, and like it goes into free speech and artistic expression and censorship and all of that stuff as well.
So it's kind of like an edutainment.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene, a moment where Zach will run up and down the stairs and yell things like sucking and fucking and sucking and fucking at you. It's balls to the wall crazy, but then educational and moving at the same time.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's on. I think it got extended its run because it's been doing very well. So if you do get a chance, go and check it out. Tickets are like $30, and it's playing at Acme as well, which is a very appropriate, appropriate setting for it. So I was very happy to have seen refused classification. That's 5 out of 5 stars from me.
Okay.
Cool. So that's my weekly watchings, which means it's time for the week that was in the nerdy news.
This is the news in nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Hello, it's time for the news, and to kick things off, we have a sort of a just speculation item to discuss, which has me excited, and I'm sure might get Fulya excited, especially because people are speculating online that Moon Knight might be making an appearance in Avengers Doomsday.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Oscar.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Basically, the reason for the speculation is because Oscar Isaac was set to appear at the Star Wars Celebration, which is coming up in a few weeks, and he's pulled out.
Oh, I wonder why.
Because of changes to his schedule, and they did not say what those changes are. But as we are all very aware, Avengers Doomsday is currently in production, filming. So people were just retweeting over and over on X or posting on Blue Sky, whatever the phrase is, skying. It's just like Doomsday. He's doing Doomsday. So yeah, hopefully. So I'm also a huge fan of the Moon Knight show and Oscar Isaac in general because he's amazing. I support this theory and I hope it's true. I don't know what kind of role Moon Knight would play into Avengers Doomsday apart from just being there for maybe a big fight or of some kind. It would be interesting to see Khonshu comment on some of the people that he interacts with. But it would just be really nice. Like, we've all been wanting a sequel series to Moon Knight.
Yeah.
It's been a few years now, and Oscar took a break from acting for a bit, and now he's kind of starting to get back into it. He's going to be in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein later this year, which I cannot wait to see. And hopefully next year, Avengers Doomsday. So, fingers crossed. Fulya, tell me how excited you are about this. The potential of this happening.
I don't want to get my hopes up. I really don't want to put all my eggs in the one basket because the moment I get really excited about something like this and then they pull the rug from under me, I am going to be so devastated. So I'm trying to keep my hype in check, keep my excitement in check, and just wait until we get more official news that come through from Disney and Marvel. So I like the idea of seeing Moon Knight in an Avengers film, so that'll be really cool. That'll be really awesome. I just don't want to get too excited just from hearing this rumor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be awesome if he can be in there, and I will be wholeheartedly all for it. I'm just keeping myself in check. But also, I'll probably do another watch through of Moon Knight season 1.
Oh, I'm so due for a rewatch. So due.
It'll be my third rewatch.
Yeah, it would be my.
It's like
second or third.
I don't know what it is. I feel like it's like my comfort Marvel show. I love it that much.
Yeah, it's so good. I don't blame you. I don't. It's still one of the better shows they put out. Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you for your excitement. Your tempered excitement.
Tempered excitement.
Tempered excitement. Mike, how does this strike you? Are you giving any credence to the speculation here that he might be in the movie?
Any eggs in those baskets? I don't know. Yeah, it is a rumor mill. Remember that. I would much prefer to see Moon Knight in something like Daredevil, because he's more of a low-key superhero in, well, all intents and purposes, superhero. But having said that, it would be interesting seeing someone like Moon Knight interact with, like, either Deadpool or She-Hulk. You know, someone who's actually breaking the fourth wall and dealing with, like, that sort of mental illness. Is that part of his superpower as well? You can actually talk to people on those sort of levels. That would be an interesting thing. But we don't know if She-Hulk or Deadpool is going to be in Doom Scroll. I'm here nor there, but it would be nice to see a bit more Moon Knight. And yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
It's all right,
Absolutely.
I guess. I haven't had a rewatch.
Maybe you should.
Well, maybe. I got other stuff to do. Still got to rewatch Endor.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing that.
No,
I got
I'm
no
not gonna
time.
do that.
I got no time, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah. There'll be Disney will do a recap.
Oh yeah,
first episode
there is
one.
one.
Will be like
I watched.
There's
a
already?
recap. It was like
Okay.
15 minutes of the entire season, so
okay.
that was good.
That's pretty good. I'll watch that then.
It's like, oh yeah, I need to
Nice.
rewatch it. It was good.
Was very good. Okay, moving on, crossing the pond to DC. Speaking of Peacemaker earlier, we have a release date. This is very exciting. We can mark our calendars for season 2. James Gunn announced this week with a little 10-second clip with some footage in there. And they didn't show us too much, but you know, it was nice little tease, I guess. But yeah, it's coming out on August 21 on Max. So that'll be where here in Australia and in America you can get your Peacemaker fix. Yeah, I'm so keen. It's gonna come around quickly. I hope anyway, because I think it's been 3 years since the first season. Pretty sure it was the start of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. When that one came out. So, and it was a fantastic first season. I definitely one of the best first seasons of any show I've seen. Like, I've got a few that I say that about, but that was definitely up there. I really liked it. So I can't wait to return. I can't wait to return. See John Cena do more hilarious blood splashing things. And eagerly. I want more eagerly. More eagerly and more vigilante as well, because he's so funny. So fucked. It's great. It's a good show. Fulya, I'm throwing to you anyway. I know you have no thoughts on this. But you've got just over 4 months to watch Peacemaker season 1. Let's see if we can do that. That's a lot of time. I think
it is a lot of time.
You can make it work.
But
I believe in you.
I don't know if I'll be interested enough to get into it. Just saying.
The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. This is DC we're talking about.
Slippery slope.
At least there's jokes in that, where Last of Us don't.
Yeah, there's comedy.
like,
there's comedy in this.
There's puns.
Yeah, there is puns.
There's a book
some
of
great
puns. Yeah.
A Book of
Exactly.
Puns by Mr. Will Livingston. 2 books, in fact. What? Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't getting much out of me.
Yeah, okay,
No.
right. Look, I tried, everyone. I tried. It didn't work. But I will not give up. Michael,
Ew.
are you keen for season 2 of Peacemaker, especially now that we have a release date?
Yeah, keen as a bean, and good that I'm rewatching because it is a good show. I'm more interested in how it's going to fit into the new regime now.
Yeah,
Because
true.
considering the other one was still part of the universe before it got shit canned. That'll be interesting. James Gunn has said that it can be part of the new regime, except for certain cameos in the last episode. Anyway. But we'll see what happens, and it's good to see more of it, and I can't wait.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you. And our last item in the news this week is a really, really good one because finally, about time, the Academy have announced they are going to be doing an Oscar for Best Stunts. They have named the award Best Stunt Design, which is kind of cool. And it will begin in the year 2028, which will actually coincide with the 100th anniversary of the first Oscars. So the 100th Academy Awards. Can't believe it's almost 100 years. That'll be in 2028, and so that it will be celebrating the stunt work of 2027. So yeah, this is great to see that they've finally done this. You know, a couple of years ago, I don't know if it was last year? Yeah, it was last year, I think, when The Fall Guy was out and the whole Barbenheimer thing was going on, and I think it was Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt came out and did a little. It was like a tribute to stunt work, and at that moment, I thought they were going to announce the award ceremony, like it's coming, yada yada when, and they didn't. It was just an acknowledgement of stunts, and then they moved on. I'm like, great.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it's nice to see that the Academy has finally heard the demands of the people, because people have been asking for this award for a long time, and it's obviously gained momentum recently. So it's really good to see, especially because when they last year announced that they would be from 2026 doing a casting Oscar for best casting, I was kind of like, shouldn't stunts come before that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's finally happening. So in 3 years from now, we will have best stunt design at the Academy Awards. Fulya, do you have any thoughts on this?
This is like, I don't know how many years too late.
Yeah.
This should have been a thing a long
100.
time ago. This
100
should have
years
been
too
like, yeah. They should have had this particular, like, they should have been recognizing stunt performers and just stunt choreography in general a long time ago. I don't know why they've announced it and then be like, yeah, this is going to be for 2028. Dude, why do you have to wait that long? Just do it already.
Yeah, I don't get the specifics of that, because like they announced the casting one I think last year, and it's not coming in until next year either. So I don't know why they need all this extra time to prepare the award, or unless they wanted to introduce it as a way to at part of the celebration of 100 years, maybe. I don't know. That's my only theory. But you're right. Like, it should have happened bloody years ago. But why can't they just do it for next year?
Yeah, I don't understand why like they're making a hoo-ha about it now. And given the fact that there have been so many amazing films out there that have used stunt choreography in such a way, like Matrix would have been an amazing nominee for this particular category.
Yeah, probably a good win
back
too.
then. And it would have been an amazing win for them. Like there have been so many like awesome, like action-packed movies that would have deserved this particular Oscar.
Absolutely.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
That's another one that would have done so like really great in that category as well.
Yeah. John Wick, all those movies.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the superhero and fantasy and sci-fi films that don't get acknowledged much at the Oscars as well.
So this kind of like, I'm glad it's a thing, but I'm also annoyed that they haven't done this before. So yeah, I've got mixed feelings about this particular news.
No, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you. Mike, again, as I always say, I know you love award shows so much. But how do you feel about stunts finally getting some recognition they long have deserved?
Well, they probably need to start backdating it, considering
honorary ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At least Rush Hour, one of the Rush Hours would have got.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
Jackie Chan needs like 10 Oscars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy.
Wonder if Tom Cruise will push this latest Mission Impossible to later so he can get an Oscar.
Nah, they're deep.
Stunts.
They're deep in promotion now for The Last Dead Reckoning, the potentially the last Mission Impossible movie that they'll make with Tom Cruise. Maybe.
Maybe
I'm
that's a
saying
slap in the
maybe.
face.
Or he'll make one just so they can do stunt Oscars.
Yeah.
So
Or
they
just
can
a
win best
movie.
stunts.
They're just
Yeah.
just
And
home
this could
video.
also be like their way of trying to get more filmmakers out there to start actually thinking about their stunt design
Maybe
potentially.
being more competitive.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
I don't know.
and sort of prepare themselves for that particular year to be the first winner of that particular Oscar.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm just so annoyed.
There are a lot of stuntmen who died during stunt.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There's been so many deaths in that industry.
and also prolonged injury.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like that doco that Daniel Radcliffe did with his stunt double.
Mm-hmm. How he's now paralyzed. Yeah.
It's
as
I said, 100 years too late.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Oh well, it'll be interesting to see who wins and how they judge it. Like, I would be curious to hear what the ruling will be. Is like, stunts per film or per hour or whatever it is, or just like the length of the stunt or how complex it is to stage, because it is stunt design. So maybe it comes into how it's set up and executed, and how it looks on film, maybe, I guess, too.
We missed an opportunity where one of the Jackass movies could have won an Oscar.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that would be like included or excluded, because they're like trying to deliberately hurt themselves, and it's themselves. It's not like, I know it's a movie, but it's them. It's not fiction.
Yeah.
It's still stunt.
It's still stunts. Like, yeah, I couldn't do what they do, so maybe they should also get an Oscar.
I could do that. I just don't want to. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't try this at home. Okay, I won't. Thanks.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
It's painful.
Yeah. Alrighty, that's the nerdy news for this week. It's time now to roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeah.
trailer park time. And our first trailer is for an upcoming Apple TV Plus series called Murderbot. This is based on a book series I didn't realize. And it stars Alexander Skarsgård in a bit of a comedic performance from him. That's something we don't really see very often from him. So that's exciting. But I'm. It's so funny because I got an email from, might have been from Prime Video, but they were like, "Here's an offer for 3 months free of Apple TV Plus, or 3 months at like $3.99, like reduced."
Oh yeah, I got that email too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, Severance is done. I finished Ted Lasso. That's not coming back for at least another year. I don't think there's anything else. Well, I mean, there's Shrinking. I know I need to watch Shrinking. But anyway, I'm like, okay, I see you, Murderbot. Maybe I will take advantage of the cheap subscription, and do that. But then this is coming out in a month, and I don't know how many episodes there are. So maybe that'll backfire. Who knows? Who knows? But regardless, the trailer looks great. It looks like they've spent a lot of money on it as well. I mean, it's Apple, I suppose. They've got good budgets for their content. And it looks great. Looks fun. David Desmalchin's in this as well. Big fan. He looks like he's having a time as well. But just the concept of future humanity and robots being involved here, and just one of them deciding to just be a bit rebellious and hack his own system, and now he doesn't have to do what anyone says, but he's sort of sneaking under the radar a little bit. But I mean, maybe they showed a little bit too much then, in that sense of like them, because obviously we see that they find out that he's a self-aware bot who calls himself Murderbot. That's the nickname he gives himself.
His private information.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this. So yeah, whenever it is I decide to reactivate my Apple account, I will be definitely checking this out for sure. Fulya, what about you? How did this work for you?
I did get a little chuckle out of this. It looked like it was going to be, just some real, popcorn fun, I suppose, in a way. I don't think I've actually really watched Bill Skarsgård in a lot of things. Alexander, sorry. Alexander Skarsgård, yeah. And I feel like this might be, something that might be good fun to watch. I feel this is going to be very sort of like on the thing with the iRobot with Will Smith kind of a thing, but it's about this one particular, but he's the main character. And I like that he's also supposed to be a security bot or a sec bot. Yeah. It's funny because he doesn't seem to want to do the things that the humans expect the bots to do. And he seems to be very much humanized in a way as well.
Yeah.
In down to the point where he's like, I can't be bothered listening to whatever they're doing. I'm just gonna watch like 7,000 hours of shows.
That was great. Because like he call humans stupid at one point.
Yes, idiots.
And then and then he ends up sort of doing very human like things. So it's fun.
Yeah, so I feel like this would be a really good watch. I think I might, once I see that the show's done, I might jump into it and subscribe for a month and just binge it, because it seems like something I would definitely get into. Yeah.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Excellent. What about you, Mike? What did you think of Murderbot?
It looks like a bit of fun, and yeah, it's on Apple Plus, so I'm going to have to resubscribe on my Prime because it's easily accessible on that. Apparently, it's a 7-book series, which is based so probably just one, the first book it's based on. Looks cool. I'm down for like rogue AI that has a little bit of twist of Douglas Adams. It definitely reminds me of Marvin, the paranoid android, where where he's hyper intelligent, so he's just constantly depressed. So I like that sort of twist where it's not necessarily a murder bot. He's just he's human. Is what's more is he's human, and apparently he's like cyborg, so it would be like a dead body from it. Basically, he's RoboCop. If RoboCop was a Skarsgård. Yeah, I haven't seen Alexander Skarsgård in much. I've only seen him in Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong, and also that cameo in What We Do in the Shadows as well, which I didn't really understand the context of why he was there, because I don't see Vampire Diaries.
He was in True Blood.
Same thing. Whatever.
I mean, same but different, yes.
No, it's the same thing. Sparkly.
True.
It's all sparkly. It's all sparkly
Nothing
vampires.
sparkly about it. No.
Sparkly
no.
vampires.
True Blood is Vampire Diaries on HBO. Like sex, violence, blood, gore.
Give me Nosferatu any day.
And southern accents. It's great. But yes, Nosferatu is another path.
And another Skarsgård. I just realised that.
Yeah. Yes. Bill. Bilius.
Andrew. Staten.
Yes.
Yeah, I would probably watch this. Because probably the only reason why I would get Apple Plus is to finish off the studio, which I would recommend as well.
Yes, you mentioned last week, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So when is this coming out?
Murderbot will be streaming on Apple TV Plus on the 16th of May.
It's gonna be May.
It sure is. In just a few weeks. Bloody hell. I'm gonna be 37. Jesus. Aging. Second trailer is for the upcoming Wes Anderson film, and it is called The Phoenician Scheme. I mean, yeah, I'm in. I mean, it's Wes Anderson, and I've definitely become a fan of his work in recent times. So, yes, I'm going to be watching this. He just has such a unique way of telling stories and, using the camera and using aesthetics and color and the way he frames things and sets things up. And it's just, the symmetry is just, like,
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And if you have like a thing where you hate things being slightly skewed or whatnot, and you just need to sit down and watch his movies and just go, everything's right with Noel.
Mm-hmm.
This has got an amazing cast, as usual. Most of his films now do have, or pretty much always have had, exceptional casts. Tom Hanks is here, Bryan Cranston's here, Scarlett Johansson is here. I've forgotten the rest of them. I'm sure Jeffrey Wright, thank you. I'm sure Jason Schwartzman's in there somewhere. Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch wearing the most amazing fake hair of all time. Just looks brilliant. Benicio del Toro. Richard Ayoade's in this too. I didn't spot him in the trailer.
Will Dafoe. All the usuals.
The usuals. Michael Cera, Rupert Friend, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Riz Ahmed, he's good. And I don't know the rest of them. Thank you, Fulya. But yeah, it looks fun. Del Toro is playing this kind of, billionaire business guy who keeps getting into plane crashes for some reason, and he has a daughter who wants to bequeath everything to, but she's a nun, and now everyone's coming for his fortune, it seems. Yeah, it looks fun. It looks good. I'm keen to watch this. What about you, Fulya?
I am actually a big Wes Anderson fan, it seems, because every time I see a Wes Anderson film, I'll want to go out of my way to watch it.
Nice.
I think it is definitely his style of cinematography with his films that really intrigued me the most. And especially like the way that he sets up the color palettes as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just so appealing to the eye,
Yeah.
And I love the way that it actually looks in general. The story itself, being that it's like this businessman and his family business, it seems, that kind of goes askew in some way. It just looks like it's gonna be like a fun time. Like it looks comedic. The characters look very interesting. There were moments where I was trying to pick out all of the different casts.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where it was like pretty much the end of the actual trailer. I'm like, oh, I'm now realizing who that person is. It's so funny.
Nice.
I will agree, the trailer was a bit long. It could have been a little bit shorter. It did show us quite a bit. But I don't know, like it doesn't mean that it was bad. Like, I liked seeing it all. I just wish they condensed it a little bit so that we get more of that from the movie itself. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing this. I want to make sure I see this in cinemas because it's going to be gorgeous on the big screen, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the last couple of his films at cinema. And
Yeah.
they're a treat.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Mike, what about you? Are you interested in the Phoenician scheme?
I could give or take Wes Anderson. I mean, I can't really watch too much because it does give me box eyes. Everything's perpendicular. Ah!
Oh my god!
Oh, the straight
It's
lines.
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so he definitely has a style, and AI definitely interprets it to a T. It's like, imagine if Dune was done by Wes Anderson. I don't need to, because I can imagine it in my head. I don't need AI. Interesting. Bit of a black comedy. There's so I just go in and out of Wes Anderson, and probably the last one I probably saw was the Netflix Roald Dahl stuff that he did.
Yeah.
The shorts.
Yeah, the shorts, and I only have Grand Budapest Hotel on DVD, and that's it.
A good one too.
It definitely
great.
looks interesting, and I'll definitely keep an eye on it if we are going to all see it. I don't know. So when is that going to happen?
Yes, well, the Phoenician scheme will be in cinemas here in Australia on the 29th of May. So also very soon.
It's going to be May.
All right, last trailer to talk about, and this is one of the trailers that came out of CinemaCon last week that we couldn't include. So we're chucking it in here, and this is our first teaser for the upcoming Tron Ares. I still haven't watched any of the Tron films. I don't really know anything about the lore or the world building or like the story at all. I can't even take a guess. All I know is like, the iconic images of the bike riders and their, trail going behind them, and zigzagging and whatnot. And like visually, like from what I've seen, not just existing on the internet and in pop culture spaces, I can the iconic imagery of it is very well known, and I'm aware of that. So this trailer looked really cool. Worlds are going to collide, apparently. So I guess that means the world of Tron is separate from our own. I don't know. Maybe it's like a virtual reality world. I'm going to sound like such a noob when I listen, if I ever listen back to myself talking about this after watching everything, because I'm gonna see this movie because it looks really cool. Like visually, I'm drawn in because like I like the idea of these giant spaceships, and they're just like, you know, highlighted in ominous red, and the bike riders going through the city streets and chopping things in half because of it's like lightsaber technology or something. It's just, you know, going straight through things. And Jared Leto's in this, of course. I still have a sweet spot for him somewhere. So does your wife, Mike. And and yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what he brings to this. Jeff Bridges is also in this movie. He's not in the trailer, but I think maybe that's his voice towards the end. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he's in the original Tron movie. So there's a connection there. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. So they're connecting it. It's not just like a reboot, it's an actual proper sequel to the other two films. So yeah, I'm interested. This was a good teaser, I thought. I thought they did a really good job. So I'm excited to see more, and I need to watch the other two films. On a sidebar quick note before I throw away, because Tron Legacy, the score was done by Daft Punk, which was critically lauded at the time as being really, really cool. I don't think they won an Oscar or anything, but like a lot of people loved that soundtrack. And then this time around, the score is going to be done by Nine Inch Nails. And you can hear a bit of it in the trailer, and it just sounds so freaking cool. So and because Trent Reznor has been doing nothing really but film scoring for the past like 10 years, so I'm keen to see what kind of music they come up with for this soundtrack. I think it's going to be very good. So, yeah, bring it on. What do you think, Fulya?
I'm not really a huge fan of the Tron series, or the franchise, I should say. I've only seen Tron Legacy back in the day, which was pretty cool. But I don't really know too much about the lore. I only just sort of realized in recent years that Tron Legacy was based on the 1982 film Tron. Yeah. But it's interesting that they've also sort of gone out of their way to make subsequent films after the fact as well. This one specifically, I don't know, it didn't really hit me as much. The fact that they've got, you know, this the digital world is coming into the real world. So you are right, Kendall. Okay. In that respect, it is a virtual space.
Okay.
In terms of its lore.
I guessed right.
Yes, you did. And yeah, like it's interesting that they've decided to go in sort of this sort of route for the story where they bring the digital into the real world. I loved the opening sort of scene in the trailer where they had the bike leaving laser trail, and then they've got this car, I think it was like a cop car that was trying to chase after it, but ended up getting sliced in half from the trail itself, which is insane. It's like, gee, okay, I see how that's going to be working. It's almost like lightsabers in the real world. It's like slicing things in half. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be for me specifically, but, you know, it looks cool at least. So, yeah, cool. There's that.
Nice. Thank you for your thoughts. Mike, what about you? Have you engaged with the Tron world before, and does this trailer interest you?
I haven't really watched any of them. It's definitely a glaring blind spot in my sci-fi genre. But I know like aspects because of context clues and just pop culture in general. Yeah, I don't know what the bikes are called, but it's sort of like bunch of games within this visual world, and those bikes are a bit like a two-player game where it's a bit like Snake. You can't really cross on people's lines, or otherwise they explode. So you need to make sure that they get in front and all that, so else you die. It's one of those, if you die in the game, you die for real sort of thing. And a bit like Jumanji as well. Like the first movie was like Jeff Bridges entering into the world of Tron. And that's all I know.
Cool.
I know there's like Discus, there's mini games, and like there's big boss at the end. So yeah, that's all I know. And in this one, the game's entering the real world. So how does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe it's a string of drones like manipulating like the world. It's like, you know, AI entering the world. I don't know. But it looks cool. I like seeing cop cars getting sliced in half. And that's just me and my political bias showing. Anyway, but the biggest downfall is Jared Leto. So when is this coming out?
Oh boy, I'm not going to touch that. Tron Ares will be in cinemas on the 9th of October here in Australia.
I think someone said that Jared Leto's character is a bit is like Pinocchio. He wants to be a real boy. So
yeah, so he's
so
from the world.
He's from Tron.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
He wants to be a real boy. Yeah, okay.
I want to be a real boy. And it's Disney as well, so it makes sense.
Yeah, true. That is true. All right. That's trailer park time done, which means it's time
for
the wibbly
wobbly timey
wimey.
The humany woomany.
The humany womany.
Popcorn culture.
Yes.
Woo.
It's Talking Who, popcorn culture, except today we are here to discuss the first episode of the brand new series 2.
Yes.
I'm waiting to trigger my
15.
15, thank you. Series 15, episode 1. Yes, starring the 15th Doctor. Yes, this is our thoughts on the robot revolution. Brand spanking new Who. New Who. Yeah. I enjoyed this premiere. I liked this episode. It was fun. Definitely not the best Doctor Who or the best of this new Who, I think. But like for an introduction, to our new companion, Belinda, I thought it was really nice. And like the way kind of things came together and the way they used time travel, references and things here was kind of cleverly done with the plot and the story. And I mean, maybe at times like plot conveniences, but it's fine.
It's Doctor Who.
It'll do. It's Doctor Who, exactly. So yeah. So on the whole, I thought this was enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to discussing it. What did you think, Fulya?
Yeah, overall it was not too bad. I didn't mind this particular episode. There's a little bit on the nose, a bit cheesy, I think, for me. So, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it. And yeah, like it's an interesting concept for a story where it starts off with a star being given as a gift and then ends up being this whole planet
Solar system.
based on or this solar system,
which is a real thing that you can do in real life.
Yes, you can.
That's kind of cool.
You can gift stars to people. But now that I've watched this episode, I don't know that I want to.
Yes. There comes some risk.
It's a bit like buying a square meter by square meter land plot in Scotland, and because of that, you can become a lord. But as recently came out that is a complete scam. So,
Oh,
is it actually?
yeah. So essentially, you're just sending money to whatever.
Mm.
Oh no.
So, because if you go there, you say, "This is my pot of land." It's like, no,
No.
No, it's not.
you're buying bullshit. And I have a feeling that this is probably buying bullshit as well.
Mm.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be cool and romantic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was gonna say, how do you even own a star? Like, you can't just be
Exactly.
like, write your name and be like, this certificate says this star's mine. It is now mine.
My own. I have certificates. I have papers.
I'm sorry. Have you been there? Have like.
Do you lay a claim? Do you lay claim to a star? Which one is it?
Like it is a, and I will admit, Kendall, it is a very cute and romantic gesture.
Yeah.
It really is, but you can't own it.
Oh, I think
like
you'll
that.
find in Doctor Who you can.
Apparently, and you can be royalty.
It's
we'll
like
talk
buying
about it, we'll talk
flowers for Valentine's Day. It's like, what's the point? They die.
Yeah, stars die.
They do.
And stars die.
I mean, they have a slightly longer lifespan than
Yeah, true.
flowers. They die in a few billion years. Bless. Mike, what were your takes, your overall thoughts on the robot revolution?
It was actually quite charming. I actually quite liked this episode because it was a very interesting premise, even though I don't think it. I think it's bullshit, but I like the fact that it. Speaking of Douglas Adams, it's very Douglas Adams-esque of something that's like nothing too sinister. It's just just a thing, and then the certificate goes back in time, and it's like, then this is actually a document that's actually real and actually forms a society, and then and then you get taken. It's like, you are queen now. It's like, what? I actually quite like that. It's very
Yeah.
It's kind of like that Simpsons episode where Lisa makes a civilization out of her tooth, and the mold turns into people. It's kind of like that aspect of science fiction that I actually quite like. I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely got the added bonus of having something intriguing of what's happening with this season of the Doctor trying to get Belinda back home, and you can't. So mystery box, that's cool. And how the certificate got there like 4,000 years ago. I actually quite like this episode, and also the sort of overarching theme of men stop being a creep is always useful.
Yes, I have a lot of thoughts about that. Nice. Well, before we get to that, let's talk about Belinda, our new companion. Miss Belinda Chandra, but don't call her Miss. She doesn't like it.
It's labels.
That was kind of cute. Yes, Verada Sethu is here in the new season. And yeah, she's great. I like her performance here as Belinda. She's very different from Ruby Sunday. She's obviously a lot older. So she has that maturity and understanding of, certain things and all of that. And, she's clearly a very caring person because she's a nurse. But she's definitely been through some stuff, it seems. And maybe we'll find out more. Maybe we won't. But I think one of the things I like that they address, and Mike, you can probably speak to this the best, but because we know this is not the first time an actor has come back to Doctor Who as a different character. It's happened a couple of times before this. Obviously, Peter Capaldi is a pretty famous example.
Martha Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically, I liked how, and I want to know from your knowledge, Mike, if they've done this before, where the doctor has outright said and explained that she's actually, like, the character we saw previously is a descendant of Belinda. They actually connected the two. Now, I'm obviously Peter Capaldi is, not connected at all. But for the others, do we know of any times that they've made a connection between the appearances of the same actor?
Yes, they have. I'm trying to remember the name, but she's a character that's also on Torchwood, and she also played a character in the first season of Christopher Eccleston, and they said, do you have relatives in this sort of area? So they're sort of touching on that. So there is precedent with that. But yeah, Peter Capaldi is like the biggest one, and they, not to spoil it, but they do sort of reference the reason why he has that face.
Okay, nice. So there is some connection.
Not needed, but the UK is a very small island.
Yes, and Wales is a very small part of that island. Yeah. So no, I really like Belinda. The fact that she's she becomes or is made queen, and the way we find out how that all transpired and how she handles the situation. And I would want to argue with her the amount of time she says a lot of this is her fault. I don't think much of any of it is really her fault. I think she's just kind of taking the blame because her name's on this place, and I guess because of her connection to what we find out later is Alan, and the fact that she rejected his proposal, and so maybe that's where she's feeling the guilt, I guess. But she says it's my fault earlier than that, and I'm just like, no, I don't think so. But that's kind of how I took it. Fulya, do you have any thoughts on that, and just maybe your general appreciation or lack thereof of Belinda Chandra, if I can speak words?
Yeah, no, look, I have the utmost respect for Belinda, and I can understand sort of like why she feels like she is to blame. Like you said, it's got her name on the bloody thing. And she's like, well, it's got my name on it. They're after me, but they're destroying this whole solar system because of me. Yeah. So I understand why she's taking the blame to save the majority, but I also feel like, and even the doctor says this, that it's not her fault. Like, she was given this as a gift from an old boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like, she's an interesting character. She's strong. She's very independent, and I love that about her. She's she won't take no fucks. Like, kind of a personality, and I like that too. So, yeah, like, there's not much else that I can really touch on that you already haven't. But I like the idea that they're connecting her to the character that we've seen in the past as well.
Yeah.
Which is also really, really interesting. So, yeah.
Well, on that note, Mike, I've got another question for you. The doctor kind of sees Belinda's appearance in his life as like a reason, like there's a reason why he's encountering this person or this face again. Do you think him saying like this was meant to be is a bit half-assed or a bit like convenient, or do you think there's some meaning behind it that we're going to go into in the season?
Maybe there's a reason, but I don't know. The doctor is the Doctor likes patterns. I'm guessing. It's like, wow, this is interesting. This is like destiny. Even though I'm a time traveler and destiny don't mean stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. Just to go on what like Belinda, I actually quite like the character they've actually set her up to be. So sort of like the companion that is has more agency and a bit of a reluctant companion as well. As like, I just want to get home, and that's all I want to do. So she could be a companion that's a one and done series one, which it's okay, I guess, because sometimes it's just a one season thing, and that's fine. Like Ruby was like that, but she is returning for this season, so it's kind of weird. So, yeah, and the whole thing's the whole solar system evolves around her. So, what? So that's an interesting take. It's like, what if you are given all this power that you don't want, and you do feel a bit guilty? I reckon, and she's just coming to terms, and because she had no idea until the end. It was like, oh, okay, it's because of this asshole. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that asshole a little bit.
Let's talk about Al Sol.
Yeah, well, I wanted to kind of go into, before we get to him specifically, but I wanted to go into your thoughts on the star system, the planet Miss Belinda Chandra, and how we have this kind of futuristic civilization with humans and robots getting along, but then suddenly something called AI enters the picture. Now, obviously, we find out later that that's AL and it's Alan, but for a good chunk of the episode, we're thinking that the head of this revolution thing is an AI generator. Specifically, that's what they call it. I kind of thought it was maybe an interesting take and an interesting nod to the way AI is quickly becoming a big part of all of our lives now, and the direction it's taking, and especially in terms of art, and how a lot of people are there are two sides of the fence in that argument, and I'm mostly in the anti-AI camp as someone who creates original material. I don't really like hearing stories of AI bots scraping websites for people's creativity and then using it to create something artificial. But some people like it and some people appreciate it because it can obviously be used in positive ways when it's used correctly. But the temptation for abuse is quite strong there. And because we have this antagonist in this episode that's called an AI generator, I just found that like Russell T Davies' way of making it a small statement, I guess, maybe. Like or small as in like he's not it's I don't know, it's not he's not thumping it into you, but it's very obvious what he's doing, I think. I don't know. But yeah, but I found that really, really interesting. What did you think of that, Fulya? Did you take anything from AI generator being the villain here?
Yeah, the moment they revealed that that the AI generator was the overlord, I suppose, of this planet, of this system, I thought to myself, oh, okay, this isn't great. And then once they sort of delved into everything else and how Al became the AI generator, and then I thought, oh yeah, no, power going straight to the head. I don't like that. I do not like that at all. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of with me and AI. I'm more so on the anti-AI side of things, but I can see how it can be used for, for good things as well in a way. I'm not ashamed to admit that I have dabbled a little bit in using the AI just to see what it can do and all that sort of stuff, and but nothing to the extent of trying to hack systems and take over the world or anything like that.
No, your name is not Skynet. Last time.
No,
checked,
no.
so we're fine.
We're good. But yeah, so I see the messaging that Russell is putting out there in this particular episode, and it I feel like it could have been done a little better. It probably didn't play out as well as I would have liked.
Okay.
To be fair,
Yeah. That is fair.
yeah, but it's an interesting sort of concept to take into a story. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. What about you, Mike? Any thoughts on the AI generated baddie we have to deal with here?
The use of AI. Yeah, being Russell T, being a creative himself, would be anti, and I'm sort of anti as well, especially when it's dealing with a creative side, and how that can be manipulated and just soulless, basically. Like, what was it last week? There was a big push for like Studio Ghibli sort of renderings of different things.
Yeah, and Hayao Miyazaki was fully against it.
Yeah.
He
Oh yeah,
hated it.
I've
Yeah.
seen. I keep on seeing that clip where he's just basically taking the task of these two guys, and two guys are just bawling their
ripping
eyes
it to
out.
shreds. Yeah.
I mean,
He hates it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really understand that, and yeah, nothing compares to actual like hand on brush sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, it does help with other things like accumulating so much information, but with like scraping the internet, that it's going to be its own downfall of actually scraping its own stuff, so it basically is eating its own poop. So and the algorithm is going to be absolutely chock-a-block, and then we're going to have to like find a way to turn it off and go back to square one, basically. And with Al, yeah, I can definitely see what the message is. Algorithm is good unless there's an ulterior motive to actually push it towards a certain way, and that's what the real world basically is. You can sort of see like the propaganda model and just chucking in so much crap, and people like being spoon-fed all this algorithmic like propaganda like so much, and you can sort of see it as in a cosmic level of one bit of information of saying, yeah, this whole place is owned by this particular person, and from that it just feeds into like this world that's has this idea, and it's sort of almost religion based, and then one person decides to come in because she said, why don't you get Al, and says, I don't need to be doing this, and so that piece of information comes in, and then that person manipulates the entire process. So that's what I like about this episode. It's sort of thinky on a basic level, and we'll probably get into like the doctor side of it of trying to rescue, but couldn't land properly and has to live an entire 6 months on this, and that's pretty cool. And also is part of probably the overarching thing of why is there like a time bubble like glitching the entire thing. So that's going to be cool. Yeah. So and Al's just a wretched piece of shit, and
yes, let's talk about that wretched piece of shit.
And the way he goes out is really gross, and
Yeah.
He becomes a Zygote, and then he gets swept up.
Yeah.
That's-
It made me think. It made me think of Ant-Man when Darren uses the shrinking tech to shrink that. There's like a guy who like it's like, I know what you're up to, and then he just kills him by shrinking him, and because they haven't figured out the tech yet, he shrinks into a pile of goop and like dies, and then he flushes him down the toilet. Yep. So made me think of that. Yes, Al. Fulya and I were having a bit of a laugh at the beginning of the episode, watching him. He was being kind of dorky and adorable, like, but we couldn't tell if they were friends or if they were. I mean, I don't know if you felt the same.
I didn't know either. Like, I had this like little inkling that maybe they were seeing each other, kind of dating in a way.
But there was no chemistry between
Not
them.
really.
So
no.
finding out at the end of the episode that that he proposed, I was like, well, no wonder she said no. But like, I didn't even get that read.
No.
And then the moment when after he gives her the star, which is noble and sweet and all of that, and she likes it. But then like he's just like, I'm just gonna kiss you now. And like he just leans in, and I'm just like,
so awkward.
Okay. Yeah. But then the whole thing with Al I didn't like was they kind of reduced him to a sort of almost like an angry gamer sort of stereotype, like that, or that like that kind of sadistic video game player who loves first person shooters and whatever, and like horror games maybe, I don't know, or whatever they like. But like people in real life aren't like this, or they're very few and far between. But a lot of people in the media especially like to generalize those kinds of gamers as bad people. And here we have an example of that bad person, because he gets this opportunity because of Belinda saying when they were going through the time thing that you need to get Alan because he was the one that, bought me the star, blah, blah, blah. It's him that did this. So they go back, and then because of the time thing, he ends up they go back way further. And so that's how he becomes the AI generator, Alan, whatever, Al. Yeah, so, but we see him like walking on the planet with the robots and stuff, and he's like, oh, so I can do whatever I want. It's like a game, like I can. And then you see him making choices of killing people, and then that's when like they realize that he started the revolution, and like, that's how he started it, and here we are. And then he becomes this grotesque sort of monster of metal, which gave me Superman 3 vibes, which not very many people might get that reference, but like just of a person becoming part of the machine. They did a really good job on the makeup, I will say. The practical effects, how they changed him and made him look metallic but also organic at the same time. Was really cool. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about them taking a stereotype and putting that into this, making him the bad guy. Like it was an interesting twist having Alan as the actual bad, like the reveal of him as the bad guy. But yeah, I don't know, the fact that it was all because of him being rejected too, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Like it was done fine, but it's a trope we've seen before too, and I don't know. What did you think, Fulya?
Well, when we started talking about this, I did mention that it was quite a cheesy kind of an episode, and that it was, the way that they decided to go about it, especially the way that it ended. I'm just like, I don't know. Al is just an idiot. That's all I'm going to say. He, the fact that he is given the opportunity to rule a planet but his first mindset is that it's a game.
Yeah.
Like
he's so detached from reality, right?
Yeah. I don't know how, like that's definitely something very sort of morally. It's like this whole moral and ethics kind of a situation.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Fulya muted the mic. There's someone at the door, and she's just gonna go investigate who it is. Yes. Yeah. Mike, maybe we'll start with some of your thoughts before we swing back to Fulya.
That's right. Yeah, I can understand the criticisms of it being a one-dimensional character. I mean, I suppose I can probably knock it off of being like Doctor Who's never been that deep. It just has little nuggets of like, oh, I can probably understand that, and yeah, it's sort of ham-fisted of this particular character. I wouldn't say they don't exist, but they do. And yeah, you could probably time it off of being a little lazy. I could say, but I was maybe hoping it would have a bit of a redemption by the end, sort of thing. And I don't know, it sort of has that, because considering they're doing the robots can't hear the ninth word.
Ninth word, yeah.
And he's saying, "Help me, I've made a big mistake." So he was probably, you could probably say that he was manipulated by the algorithm as well, like, and the machine is part of him, and he's trying to get out, but the way he ended up, it was pretty harsh, to say the least.
Yeah, probably too far in the wrong direction in terms of justice for the, you know. Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, he's responsible for a lot of deaths, so maybe it was fitting.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, great.
We can finish up soon.
Yes. We're nearly done. Fulya, you were sort of mid-thought, but do you have any other thoughts, or you want to continue on any of your...
We can move on, it's fine.
We can move on? Great. Mike, do you have anything else to add to the owl of it all?
Yeah, we can talk about Doc.
Let's talk about Doc. The Doctor.
The Doctor.
The Doctor. Yes, the 15th Doctor back in crying mode again. I was like, I wonder if it's gonna happen again, and it happened again. I mean, it was still kind of Doctor like Who in essence, I think, because he held on to the pain that Sasha, he lost a friend that he'd made over the last 6 months. But then he also kind of didn't like stew in it too long. Like he shed a tear and he cried, and then he continued on with the mission, I suppose. Yeah.
Otherwise he would be dwelling onto it like forever.
Yeah. Indeed. But Mikey mentioned it before. I really liked how they set up that the Doctor spent 6 months on this planet, knowing that he would be working up to the day of when Belinda would eventually arrive. I thought that was really cool, the way that they use the time stream thingy. Time obstruction, whatever I forget the word they use to call it. Yeah. But I thought that was pretty cool, the way that he was able to do that and put himself in that society, gain the rebels' trust, and my favorite scene, I think, with the Doctor this episode was the scene where, as the historian, he spoke and then revealed the every 9 word that the robots don't know what's being said, so you can get a message in there. I thought that was really, really clever.
Yeah,
I liked that as a little way to communicate, but safely without anyone getting hurt. But yeah, then obviously there's a lot of death and the way those robot guns worked was. I mean, they killed a cat at the start of the episode, and I wasn't happy about that. I was like, no, I'm done.
This is out.
Season 2 is cancelled.
It was almost like they
yeah.
were being exterminated by a dialect.
Yeah.
Kind of a
a little bit.
laser.
Yeah, similar to a Dalek laser.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But no, the Doctor in this episode, apart from that, I thought he was great. He was the star of the show, but really he kind of took a sidestep to Belinda, I think. She was definitely more of the main focus, and she was obviously the one at the end that combined the two certificates together and caused that chain reaction to occur. I kind of liked, I like seeing the Doctor. I love Shruti Gatwa. He's fantastic. I've said that many times. He's very good. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the two of them together. Their chemistry so far looks pretty good. So yeah, what were your thoughts on the Doctor in this episode?
Yeah, look, definitely, got the cry out of the way first sort of section of the show, of the episode. So that was interesting to see. And it was for a character that we didn't really get a chance to get to know. So that was also something that I was like, it was an interesting concept that we didn't get to know this person, but the Doctor did, behind closed doors. And he had an emotional connection with this person as well. So, and I totally get that. But we as an audience just didn't get a chance to get to know this person for very long at all.
I just had a brainwave just as a quick thing to mention, because we literally just had the Christmas special where something like that happened, where he had to spend a whole bunch of time getting back to the plot. I suppose, like he had to spend all that time in the hotel and befriend the woman whose name escapes me currently. And then we get to know her as well. This time they're doing that again, but we don't get to see. It's just implied and inferred in the interactions and dialogue and stuff. And we can see that they clearly, she's like, I trust this man with my life, and you can too, and all this stuff. And yeah, you get a sense of that bond. But it's interesting that they decided to do a similar thing, like immediately one after the other.
Yeah. And the other thing that I will also mention, they went from Joy becoming a star to then now Belinda owns a star.
Yeah.
And
that's another good connection. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder if this was Joy. No, I can't. No, it's fine. But yeah, so the Doctor was interesting. He becomes the historian of this planet. It took him 6 months to get to that point. He was building up to it so that he can meet Belinda. And yeah, it was just like that conversation that he was having and then adding in those random words. And I'm like, wait, what is he? I was confused for a few moments. And then as soon as I realized they made it look like they were showing obviously the audience, hey, he's structuring a sentence, but he's doing it every so often.
Yeah.
And then he explains that it's every ninth word. They don't hear the robots don't hear it. Very clever. Yeah. Very clever. It took me a moment to understand. I feel like that Belinda was us in that sort of moment. She was like, what is he saying? What? Why are there random words? Oh, hold on a second. Let me think it through. And yeah, it kind of like worked out in that kind of respect of, us putting together a puzzle. So I kind of like that. But then when she tried to reply, it was hard for her she had like count it out on her hands.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have been the same too, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that's like, I think too, a way to show the difference in the Doctor and how he operates, and maybe even his advanced intelligence and all of that versus, even for a smart human like a nurse like Belinda, she still has to think about it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Overall, the Doctor did a great job in this particular episode. but yeah, like you said, he did take a little bit more of a step back compared to what the fact that we had more of Belinda in this. But yeah, no, it was interesting to sort of see how they both interacted. And then especially once we get to like the last scene, which we'll get to, but that whole conversation that they have as well, and it was good.
Nice. Mike, what did you think about the Doctor in this episode? How did he work for you?
He worked well. I'm not. There were certain aspects that I wasn't quite sure of, and it was sort of out of character, especially with that one tear scene, and then go into it. That felt like a bit of a difference with the caricature of the 15th Doctor, which would make sense. So maybe this is just the one cry, and then we're done. But he does. But the Doctor does say a line that I actually quite like, where Belinda's finds that the people here have a different body autonomy sort of thing to humans, and she was saying, as like, oh, which one would be better? And then the Doctor says, once you start saying which is better, will lead you to a very dark path. And it's like,
that was such a good line.
That was basically just like, bigotry. It's within everyone, so be clear of that. I'm not. I can't really explain. I can't really talk about too much about it. It was just a very interesting episode. And where do we go from here? Probably the ending.
We kind of talked about the ending as well, but I guess we can just talk about, I guess what the last scene with the two of them on the TARDIS potentially. Which we've touched on already with the reveal of the connection between the two appearances of Verada Sethu in this show. That was really cool. But then the interesting, way they kind of like Belinda's really cool, and I kind of like how, like you said earlier, like she takes no shit kind of thing. Because she stands up to the Doctor immediately, and it's just like, you took my DNA without my permission. And she's basically implying like, I guess I can trust you, but I don't know you, and I have work, I have responsibilities, I need to go home. And she implores that he take her home, and he because he's the Doctor, of course he agrees to do that. But then really interesting thing that we can't actually go back to the day she left.
Like that kind of threw me through a loop, and I'm like, but why? Like, why aren't they explaining this?
Because like you watch them, watch the Doctor again, like he hits a couple of buttons, pulls the lever, and they zoom, and then nothing happens, and then that just keeps repeating. And
so when that happened for the first two times, I thought something's up.
Yeah,
definitely, because usually when the TARDIS starts up, it does its little kind of like sound,
the whole thing,
and like it's almost like starting up its engine. But for some reason this time around, it just wasn't doing that. It was just doing one kind of a rev, and then it stopped.
And then giving up. I really like the detail of the lights in the background doing that, like the lights, the circular lights on the wall would go out as it powers up, and then as it powers down again, they shrink into turning off. I thought that was a nice touch. But this was really interesting. And then because I don't, in all of my Doctor Who that I've seen, which is not very much obviously, but knowing that I don't think I've seen a moment where the TARDIS can't travel to a certain day like this. I've never seen it rebound on itself, sort of thing. But and then we get that reveal of maybe the Earth isn't there to go back to now for some reason, and then that maybe then ties into that thought of, you know, the Doctor having just said, I was supposed to encounter you for a reason. So maybe there is some connection to whatever's happened on Earth and blah blah blah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on that, Fully, before I throw to Mike?
Not really, but it was just very like confusing. Just be like, why can't they go back to? And then the reveal of seeing debris floating in space that was from Earth, including the part of the Eiffel Tower, part of the Lady Liberty, and I'm like, something's happened to the Earth, and we don't know. It must have exploded in some way. Who knows?
Who knows?
And now we know why they can't go back to it. But yeah, I'm very, very curious to find out what else happens.
Especially because the Doctor implies that they've got to go the long way around, and then generally that means, aging.
Yeah.
When you're talking about time travel, but obviously we're not doing that, so he's going to figure out a way to get her home, and we're going to see how that works out. But Mike, what was your take on the ending here?
It's definitely a good, interesting thing to lead into an entire arc. Sorry, I'm a bit frazzled. Probably need to finish up soon.
Yeah, no worries.
I do like the fact that it's something that we're not akin to. I don't remember anything from previous Doctor Who like can't really set into one time. Maybe because there's another TARDIS there, and they can't really combine like certain streams, so you can't go on streams. So it's definitely a mystery that needs to they're going to explore with. I suppose. I don't really have much to go on except certain things that people are talking about. It's like what on why. So it's definitely a good mystery, and Doctor Who, that's the big mystery.
And then, of course, Mrs. Flood makes an appearance in this episode.
Yes.
So, apparently
she's making an appearance in every episode. So it's going to be a Where's Wally again.
Nice. I like that. She was fun in the first season of this new Who. So I like how she was just like, okay, Belinda, safe travels, and then to the Doctor, what did she say? Like, you didn't see me, or I was never here, or I don't know what it was. I can't remember, but that vibe anyway. Cool. All right, shall we wrap it up then? Yes. Cool. All right, those are our thoughts on Doctor Who Series 2/15, Episode 1. The Robot Revolution. Cool, and that means the popcorn culture is done. The Talking Who's done. The podcast is done for another week.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. All right. 1, 2, 3. And that
was
a podcast
called
Fred. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future content. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on the way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yeah, I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and
And I've been a Michael Lister. That is a Michael Lister. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Nice one.
And
you just experienced a podcast called
Transition.
Remember to eat beef.
Remember, Loki lives, Freddy dies, everyone dies. Everyone dies because everyone's floating in the air and stuff. Woo!
Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Laters, gators. And
See
See